There is not an hour to be lost. This is no time for ease and comfort. It is a time to dare and to endure. More than 1 million women must come boldly forward into our war industry.
Here we are, 1942, and things are still changing. The saying might be that it's a man's world, but with so many signing up and fighting for king and country, lots of their jobs are being done by women now. When you think about it, that makes sense. Every woman taking charge means another man is free to join the forces. Last year, it became law that any woman between 20 and 30 has to try find work to help the war effort. There's factory work and government work, and there's also auxiliary forces supporting the troops. In the countryside, women are joining the land army to help farmers, and there's plenty of everyday jobs to be done in the cities. Like Peter's mother, she's been taken on as a bus driver, although it's not quite what she expected, as I found out when I popped in for tea.
I was all ready to learn my routes when they told me not to worry about all that. Turns out, I'm just moving the bleeding things and they've broken down or need shifting at the depot. It's like they don't trust us women with passengers, unless we're just clipping their tickets.
Same as what Auntie Beatrix said. She's part of the Air Transport Auxiliary.
Crikey! Piloting planes? Not quite the same as driving the number 73.
Well, like you, Mrs. Appleby, she's only really moving things around, not seeing much action or getting into dogfights as far as I know.
Tons better than the sprocket factory, though. They've taken on loads of women. You don't expect much excitement in a factory.
Oh, can you imagine packing sprocket after sprocket into boxes? I'd go mad. Factory work can be so dangerous. Getting mucky with all those poisonous chemicals and greasy machinery, on your feet all day. Didn't little Robbie's mother end up at Plessy's?
That's right. Last time he wrote, he said she's putting wireless receivers together for our bombers. They built a factory in the new underground tunnel at the end of the Central Line. Very safe from air raids, but some of the men don't like the women being there and can be really rude.
Well, they won't have worked alongside a woman, not unless that woman's pushing a trolley of tea. What about your mum, George? Talking of making tea, I know she's helping out with the Women's Voluntary Service, looking after the firemen when there's a raid. But she'll be part of this call-up too, won't she?
That's right. She had an interview last week at the Census Office.
Now that sounds exciting. Imagine reading all the mail from the soldiers to their families and whatnot, and making sure they're not giving the game away about the military movements.
Yeah, Mother wouldn't tell me much about it, but she did say you get a very big black pen to cross out the classified bits. Maggie's been keen to do something, even though she's too young to work in a factory or an office, and she's terrible at keeping secrets, so the Census Office wouldn't be a good idea.
Just look! That policeman directing the traffic is a woman! All the drivers seem to be women these days, and I heard in the auxiliary services there's even work for women on the radars, tracking enemy planes. That'd be like playing a giant game of hide and seek, except if you lose, a bomber could drop in for tea. Mum says there's plenty of other things women are doing to help the forces run smoothly. Cooking, cleaning, manning the telephones and all that.
Don't you mean womaning the telephones?
It'd be more fun than school. I wish I could do something to help.
What about joining the Girl Guides? They're helping collect things, raising money, doing first aid and things like that. I heard you can even get a badge for engineering.
Maybe. But the girls I know see a lot of that as pointless as weaving baskets. Something to stop us girls from grumbling about being left out. They said they were also out collecting cotton reels, needed 5,000 as quickly as possible. I mean, what's the point of that? Why can't we help with espionage? Like something from the pictures. I can just see myself in a mysterious trench coat in the shadow, ready with my revolver, not bundling blooming bobbins.
Much later, it turned out that all of those cotton reels were used by the Secret Service to hide maps, microfilms, and money for prisoners of war. So Maggie could have been working as a spy. Well, in a way. By mid-1943, almost 90% of single women and 80% of married women were working in factories, on the land or in the armed forces. And that included everyone from commoners to royalty. The most famous member of the Auxiliary Territorial Service was Princess Elizabeth. Of course, when the men came back from war, they wanted their jobs back. Many women were happy to return home, but it caused some disagreements as others had got used to these new jobs. Things had changed, and there were more changes to come, women would increasingly be a part of the workforce, often in roles traditionally held by men. And like many things during and after the war, well, people would have to get used to the change.
Next time, the Blitz kids wonder how Alice is faring on Jersey and the Channel Islands, which has been occupied by the German forces since June 1940.
Blitz Kids, an inspiring audio production for fun kids, created with support from the National Lottery Heritage Fund. Find out more at funkidslive.com/blitz.